All right, listeners, we are back, new season, and we already have a guest for you, and it is Coach Matt Buttermore of Omaha. Coach, you're in your fifth season now, correct?
Correct.
Awesome. Fifth season, you're coming off back-to-back 20-win seasons, back-to-back Summit League Championship match appearances, and your first ever postseason experience in the NIVC last year. So certainly some great things happening in the program. So firstly, I have to ask about Volleyball Day in Nebraska. You know, a lot of the conversation has been focused on the Huskers, but obviously being in Omaha, that was a big experience for you guys as well. So just talk to me a little bit about what the experience meant for you and for your team and your staff.
Yeah, you know, God is always good, but some days you feel more blessed than others, and that was definitely one of those days. I was happy for our student athletes. You know, you think of, you know, old student athletes that you wish, you know, could have experienced it as well. You know, as somebody that grew up in the state and I know, you know, a lot of the people that were honored and personally and things like that. So just for me personally, it was just a really neat day. I never had a doubt that the stadium would sell well. I probably wouldn't have called a super fast sellout, but I knew it was going to be more popular than they thought. But, you know, I was happy our coaching staff got to experience that. I think our student athletes that came and watched, our other students here at UNO that came down and made the trip, we appreciate them. It was a wonderful, wonderful experience for everybody.
Yeah, awesome. Certainly would have called that the stadium would fill up, but world record was not on my bingo card. So that's pretty awesome for volleyball and for the Summit League to get to be a part of that as well.
Yeah.
A couple follow-ups to that. A listener mentioned to me that you seemed to share a laugh with Nebraska's Coach Cook post-match, and he wants to know if you can tell us how that conversation went.
He said, you guys passed really well. And I said, yeah, we just couldn't score. And he's like, yeah, who can set in the wind? And I think that was it, you know, just, you know, glad we could be here. Thanks for the opportunity. And I think that's pretty much it. And a couple other exchanges. I mean, I'd seen him probably a week or two before in another interview. So we'd already talked a little bit about things then and everything. So, but yeah, that was it.
Awesome. Another follow-up. This is from someone who will remain nameless until your answer to the question is given. Okay. But the question is, did you consider a sky ball for your first serve at Memorial Stadium?
Is this from Ted?
No, it is not from Ted.
No, I never considered it. We did mess around with them on Tuesday at practice, but it's one thing to hit one in practice. It's another thing to actually do it in front of 92,000 people. So.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay. One thing to Happy Gilmore in practice and another thing to Happy Gilmore on the course.
Right.
It was from Kristen Tupac, actually, from Kristen Tupac. I was surprised when I saw she sent me a DM. I was like, what is Kristen up to? And she said, for Buttermore. And I was like, okay, I see what we're doing here.
Yeah. No, it never crossed my mind, but we had some fun with it on Tuesday. It was kind of windy on Tuesday as well, so which is weird. We had a really calm summer here in Nebraska, and at least in the Omaha area, very little wind. And so we kind of had two, I wouldn't say super windy days, but definitely windier than we've had. So that was a little unfortunate, but it is what it is.
Would you have rather it been windy as it was or had been 100 degrees as it has been?
Ooh, that's two tough decisions. I would probably go with the heat, actually, though, especially because by the time we played, the sun was down, and we thought the wind would help us. It kind of, with our tempo and stuff, we'd control the ball a little better, but really it just became a little harder to set. And, you know, we're giving up probably 6 inches in reach on swings and things. So, and so our windows are smaller to hit for our setters. So, and so it just made those kinds of things harder, and they were able to dominate us at the net in a way that we maybe weren't thinking would happen with the wind. So now maybe the scores would be the same if it wasn't windy. I don't really know, but it was frustrating because we thought we played pretty good defense in stretches, but couldn't capitalize in transition.
Yeah, well, and it's hard to practice in that or for that as well, especially when the weather changes all the time.
I mean, if we're really going, we'd switch every 7 points and everything. That's what you do in the beach, but it is what it is, and it's a great experience. And I don't know if it would. I mean, I don't know. You never know. But that was just one thing we were thinking. So if we ever get a chance to play in front of 92,000 people again, we'll maybe do something different. I guess I don't know.
Awesome. This is a combination question for me and from our listener, Troy G. from Sioux Falls. Getting into your schedule a bit, you started the season with 4 Power 5 opponents and back-to-back, I think, Texas A&M, Kansas, Nebraska, and K-State. So kind of how did that schedule fall into place, I guess, is part one. And then part two is, have you seen anything in practice that you've been able to implement, from playing Power 5 opponents? And then lastly, does the team look forward to those opportunities? Are they excited about it?
The last question, yes, I think so. You have to be careful. We don't want to just – we want to play games, and we think we have the talent to compete with these teams. So maybe we're not quite experienced enough yet, but so that's kind of your first question. So we have to be careful. I think there is excitement. Obviously, there's excitement for Volleyball Day. K-State, they're opening their new beautiful arena. They really did a nice job with that. So there's excitement. How the schedule came together, we were going to go play at UIC second weekend because Volleyball Day originally back in January they'd slotted in a Tuesday. So we thought, well, we can still get on a plane and go play. And that would have been mid-major programs. But once it got moved to Wednesday, I didn't think that was a good setup for us. And I thought a bus trip, and one match that weekend would be the best. And that's, K-State just happened to have the perfect opening. And, and frankly, I thought we really gave ourselves a chance to win that match in 2 sets, or change the tone of the match for sure in 2 sets. And, we thought we would do better in that match, to be honest. So, and, the first weekend we had KU on return because we went there last year, and, that just Texas A&M wanted to come and play us, and so that's just the way the first weekend worked out. So some of it's we do always schedule aggressively. We won't shy away from anyone, and some of it's just luck or perfect storm on some things.
Yeah. So you mentioned K-State, which is something that I wanted to bring up. I was certainly a combination of standing and sitting and screaming at the TV throughout that match. Like you said, you probably could have gone a little bit better. What are you working on to make sure that when you get in those big lead situations that you can kind of stay strong and not necessarily fall apart in those moments?
Well, we just got to do the right thing, is what we talked about today in film and in practice. So we have to make winning decisions more often. We are making the game way too easy. Even going back to KU, we hit the ball to the libero or their middle back defenders, who one of them is really, really good, way too much. And just the game is too easy for the other team on the other side of the net against us right now. So that's something we've been really working on. I think we did a little better job of that at K-State, but we still had some situations where we just gave them free points and gave them easy situations on their side of the net when we really could have messed up the game for them and made it a lot harder. So that's been in addition to some of the connections and the other stuff. When we play great defense, we're playing better defense now. All right, what are we going to do with this ball, even if it's not quite right? So that's been the emphasis right now. Maybe we don't really need to do much better. We just need to make a few better decisions during the set, and we'll get 2 points out of that. And certainly Friday, that would have made a huge difference. And in these other matches, against Texas A&M, that would have made a huge difference. And you put a little more pressure, 2 points on the other team, and maybe they make a few errors, and then maybe we push KU a little bit farther, and have a chance to win that match. Maybe we break 20 against Nebraska. So these are the things we're working on.
Awesome. Also from our listener, Troy G, he says, on paper, you have a really experienced and really tall front court, but some of these other schools have kind of leveraged the transfer portal. So regarding the portal, do you see mid-major specifically being advantaged or disadvantaged by the portal?
Well, I have no idea. I think for us, it's a lot of times these kids want to come home, and do they align with what our needs are and what our scholarship availability is. So it's kind of, we never want to bank on the portal in any year. I think that's some programs leave a scholarship free for the portal. I've heard, I don't really know. I've heard of that strategy. I don't think that's the right way to go about it. We want to recruit, great kids from the region. Occasionally go out of the region, obviously, but and develop them and build them up. And we want to work with them for 4 years. That's our goal. We want 4-year players. So transfers have helped us, obviously, with Jaden and Bus and Kennedy, and Erica's a JUCO transfer. It's a little different, but so we've certainly benefited from the portal in the past. This year didn't really work out for us, and actually it might have worked out for us, because I don't know if we would have had Amanda if we would have got somebody in the portal. So she was a very late commit.
Yeah, awesome. You mentioned Erica Fava, who that's where I was going next. Actually, next question. She put on a serving clinic this weekend. Seems to be an awesome player. Came over from Western Nebraska. Can you just talk a little bit about her and how she's impacted your team in the short time that she's been here?
Yeah, she's passing really well, so that's an impact. And she's just a really good athlete, a lot of experience. She hit at Western Nebraska. She was a 2-time All-American there. Her family's a volleyball family. Her parents have played professionally. Her siblings have played professionally in Italy. So, she just knows the game really well. And loves being, she went to high school in Kansas her senior year, and then COVID happened and she missed a year, and then she was back. So for JUCO. So her impact has been, passing. Her serving was a lot more consistent this last week. We saw the kind of pressure she can put on other teams. So that was really neat to see. And then as she kind of gets acclimated to the rest of our system, she'll continue to get better and better.
Awesome.
I think I answered.
Yeah, you did. Absolutely. I like to frame my questions as, talk to me about this, so that there's not really a question there and you can just say whatever.
There we go.
Oh yeah, this is what I really wanted to get to. You have
Is this from Troy G again?
Sorry, what was that?
Is this from Troy G again?
No, this is from me.
Okay.
You have Long Beach State coming up on Thursday. Not a Power 5, but they did just smash Texas on opening day, 3-1. Have you done anything differently to prepare for this match than you would other matches, or kind of, I guess, what's the message regarding Long Beach?
Long Beach does some different things at the net. So just in terms of how they handle the third contact, they'll mess with the timing of the block and things like that. And we don't need to change. In fact, the way we block, it should, when we do it right, and in some spots we're kind of young, so we don't always do it right, but when we do it right, we should be in pretty good shape. But also just winning and being creative at the net, and we worked on that a little bit today. I think that'll be important against Creighton too. They're always very salty at the net. So that was an emphasis in today's practice, being aggressive, going up to win, not just surviving. Can we score on some of these tie balls? So we'll see if we can make a little bit of progress, and it's something that's really a part of their game. So we just need to counteract it a little bit, and hopefully, win other parts of the match on Thursday.
Awesome. Well, thank you for the volleyball chat. We're going to move into the non-serious portion now. You know that I like to screw around. So what I've done, normally I ask just sappy questions like, what's your favorite food on the road or whatever. I today decided to be very original, and I know that you're not ready for it. So the Omaha Volleyball Twitter has been doing the get to know your team and tweeting the graphics of the girls with 10 questions that they've answered. So what I've done is picked 10 questions, 10 random. None of them are the same answer, so all of them are going to be a different player. And I'm going to put the question up and see if you know which player said what.
Oh,
we'll see
great.
How you do. I knew that was going to be your reaction. I was telling my husband about it. I was like, he's going to be not happy about this at all.
No, I don't get on Twitter that often. Okay.
Well, you've retweeted them.
I've retweeted them. That doesn't mean I studied it.
I know. All right. First question. What TV theme can Annika Vester? Thank you. Okay. So you know what's going on. You know what's going on. All right.
I can read them. So sorry to interrupt.
Okay, perfect. No, that's okay. Who said their superpower of choice would be mind reading?
Problem is, I don't remember who all is gone. Superpower of choice, mind reading. Morgan DeBoe. Give me one more quick.
Myers.
What?
Oh, sorry. I just gave you the answer.
I knew it was too. They're kind of the same person.
All right. Yeah, all right. So you got one right now. Who said that they would want to hang out with The Rock when asked what celebrity they would hang out with?
I remember seeing this. Who wrote it down? Amanda? Golly. Who was it?
You want one more guess?
Yeah, I do. I can't. Maybe because I was an Arizona thing, maybe Olivia T.
Nope.
Oh.
It was Emily Huss.
Sorry, Emily.
All right. When asked about their pre-match ritual, who said, "I'm very superstitious, so it would take a 5-page essay to explain it"?
That sounds like Shayla.
That is Shayla. You got 2.
I didn't know. I don't remember she wrote that, but that just sounds like Shayla.
That's why I picked that one, because like even if you didn't read it, like that's obvious enough that you would know who said it.
Appreciate it. I needed a win.
Yeah. Which player can't write in cursive?
That's Morgan.
That is Morgan. Got
she 3. She can talk in cursive. Ask her about it sometime.
Okay. I will have to. I'll have to. Yeah. Whose greatest volleyball achievement is getting over 1,000 kills in high school?
Who would that be? Kaylee?
Nope, you already answered Kaylee.
I know. Oh, I didn't know you could. Okay.
It's only yeah. They're all different.
I don't know if that would have helped me, but I wouldn't have said Kaylee. 1,000 kills. Who would have had 1,000 kills? Quite a few of them. No. Brynlee?
Bryn McNair.
Oh. Shoot.
Close. You're kind of on the right track. When asked what 2 things they would bring to a deserted island, who said they would bring goldfish?
Who said they would bring goldfish? I remember reading goldfish. Who was it? I remember thinking that's a terrible snack to bring to an island. Who was it?
I agree. I would bring whales. Whales are better.
Oh, yeah. Or beef jerky or something. Briley.
Erica.
Oh!
All right. Which one of your players cannot live without Dr. Pepper?
Oh, I feel like this is like 4 of them, but I think Rachel Fairbanks. No? McKenna. Actually, I didn't know she was such a Dr. Pepper fan. I know Rachel and Erica are.
If I was, McKenna is in much better shape than I am. However, when I was a college athlete, I was certainly not like telling my coach that I was drinking Dr. Pepper all the time. So maybe you're not supposed to know that.
Maybe she's sneaky about praising Dr. Pepper around me.
Who wants their superpower to be controlling time?
Ooh, I don't. This is gonna be a guess. Wait, who haven't we said yet? I should have been writing down the right answers, then I would have a better way to narrow this down. I don't know this one. I'll throw a guess out. Superpower controlling time. I'm going to go Brynlee Arnold.
No. I will give you a hint, I guess. Her name is Olivia, but you have to tell me if it's Curry or Takufu.
Kind of sounds like an Olivia Curry thing.
Olivia T. You've got one more chance to get a 40%. So no matter what, you
You're
finish.
right. Oh, it feels like I've gotten none right.
All right. Who said that their unique talent was taking naps?
Who was this one? Taking naps. That might have been Rachel.
Rachel.
All right.
40%.
40.
Good job. Some of those are pretty tough.
They weren't easy. There were, honestly, I kind of gravitated to a couple, like the business they would start, and what was the other question on there that I would skim through, but I could probably do the business on more of them than I got on the others. But Desert Island, I definitely skimmed through that. Didn't read that one, obviously.
Awesome. Well, I appreciate your time. I appreciate you putting up with my games. Glad you came back, and I wish you luck this season, and hopefully we'll see you down the line.
All right. Thanks, Madison.
Awesome. Thank you.